Hello, welcome back to my channel, to mindful life, to my kind of mindful life. I have a beautiful view behind me. There's no wind. I went for a short walk and thought I would chat with you guys a little bit about where we are in the world, what's going on in the time, in the spring that is slowly coming, and just a quick chat. It's in the middle of March, so by the time you watch it, hopefully there will be more spring signs than we have, and it will be a little bit warmer. And before we continue, it would be great if you give me a like, if you enjoy this video, if you subscribe, and let's hop right in. First of all, I want to ask all of you how you're feeling, what you're thinking. Are you worried? Are you anxious? It's very easy to feel anxious and worried with this looming threat of war, of rumors of war, of inflation, of the prices going up, of everything getting more and more expensive. And on top of that, we still have our C-19. It's still not gone from the media. It's almost gone, but still present. All the restrictions are still on. So, how are you feeling? I'm feeling good, considering all the facts and all what is happening. We are officially in phase 2. So let's talk about that. Was it the 26th of February this year, I think? It's when we could say that phase number 1 officially ended and phase number 2 began. So, with the ending of phase number 1, I hope I can now officially cough and no one will give me evil and nasty looks in the supermarkets. As I mentioned, we still have the restrictions. Maybe they are not forcing it as much or talking about it as much, but it's difficult to travel. We still have masks everywhere, almost in the supermarkets and so on. And it's like that all over the world. So it's over, but it's not over. I mean, is it gone? Is it not gone? Who knows? But we are in phase number 2 now, so I don't know, of course, all the details, but I did speak about it in the video about the Great Reset 2022, and you can see how the Great Reset is being implemented right now with the war between Russia and Ukraine, but I would call it a war between the globalists, between the elites and all the rest of the world. I wouldn't point fingers on anyone specifically, and there's so much more to it, and so many players involved in this, what is happening and why it started. I mean, we know why it started. It's the implementation of phase number 2 of the Great Reset, making us all poor, of leading us into destruction. That is what they want, as I've already mentioned, and it's going to be happening one way or the other. If one plan fails, or someone doesn't do according to their plan, or whatever they have directed or scripted or written, might be that someone has their own free will and does different things, political leaders, countries, anyone, then they will implement plan number B and C and D and E and so on. They are not going to give up, ever. And this is what I want to talk about. If you're struggling with the reality that you're in, I think many of my subscribers are very wise, and they know, and they've prepared mentally for how it's going to turn out. They know, you know, that we are in for the long run. and that we have to be strong and that we cannot give up. And this is how it's going to be. If this war ends, then something else will begin. Another war, a catastrophe, prices are going to go up, a new illness, a new pandemic, a new whatever. It's going to continue. They want to exhaust us, and they want to exhaust us, and they want to drain you. They want to make you feel like there is nothing left, nothing positive left, nothing good left. There are only dreary things and terrible news and awful things happening, and no joy left. That's how they want to make you feel, so that you will give up. And I want to encourage all of you to not give up. As I already mentioned, I think most of you know that that this is not going to end and we have to endure. But those of you who don't, or who have doubts, or who feel like giving up, I want to tell you not to. There's still so much happiness in the world. There's a lot of happiness in the world still, and joy and positivity. And the most important thing is to be brave. These times requires of you to be brave, of all of us, of me, of everyone. If you believe in something, you have to stand up for this, and you have to act in spite of the fear you feel, and do the things you love, and continue to find the positive things you love and that bring you joy. And even if they require courage and braveness, and even if it requires of you to have a strong mind, to constantly work on your mind, for your mind to be strong. For me, the way I do it is that I prepare mentally for the worst, and then I can enjoy everything that is much better than the worst, than what I expected would be the worst thing. I know a lot of people don't function like that, but I do. When I've imagined the worst, and I can find a lot of joy in the reality I am in, because probably it's not as bad as I imagined it. So I already know there will be phase number 3 and phase number 4, however long it's going to take. So I know that I will not sigh a huge sigh of relief if the war is over, because I know there will be something else soon. So that's how I function, and that's what helps me to find joy and peace in the circumstances that we are in. Not all the time, but I try to. I also want to mention and talk briefly about Lent. We are in Lent right now, before Easter, the 40 days in commemoration of Jesus Christ, fasting and praying and suffering before he went out into the world to preach and to teach and so on. And this fast, I think, is a very good opportunity to turn towards God and to His promises, to His 10 commandments, and to look into yourself, look at what more you can do. Look if you've repent for those things you need to repent for, to forgive those you need to forgive, and to accept apologies as well. And I think the most important thing now during this Lent is to love as much as you can. Love towards Creator and love towards people in your life, and not to feel hatred towards anyone, whether it's a government, whether it's a political leader, whether it's your neighbor or anyone else. So, to summarize, I wanted to chat with you about the current events, about how I am approaching them, and my feelings towards it, and my tips if you're struggling with what is happening, and about Lent and preparation before Jesus' death and resurrection. So let me know in the comments how you're feeling, and thank you very much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Mwah!